Hello, welcome to another Dhamma meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. If you're interested, you want to join, you're welcome. We'll go to our first participant, which is Alice. Hi, Alice.
How are you?
Good. Good evening to you.
Good evening, good evening.
Your mindfulness is good?
Better, yes, I've been practicing.
Okay. And how do you feel overall?
A bit doubtful. I have doubts, worries, like always. I'm trying to get rid of them. But overall more balanced than before starting practicing.
Well, the Buddha said everything is anicca, mean uncertain, so you cannot expect things to be certain. You have to be prepared for changes. This is the way the world works. If you're ready for change, and there's no doubt, you just let things be. If you expect things to be in a certain way, you might not get it, and you can be doubtful. So just take things as they come.
I have a few questions tonight, if I can ask Ajahn.
Go ahead.
I would like to know to keep your balance and structure by practicing Dhamma teachings at home or everyday life, but I would like to practice also in different contexts and keep them also under stress or at work. How can we keep our good behaviors always?
It depends on your mindfulness. If you're mindful, then you know what you're gonna say, what you're gonna do before you say or do. So then you can decide whether you should say or do or not. If it's gonna hurt somebody or yourself, then you should not say or do it. So you have to be practicing mindfulness all the time. Watch your mind. Watch what you think. Watch what you will say or do. In order to have mindfulness, you have to keep the mind from thinking by reciting Bhutto, 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 or keep watching your body movement. Then you will have mindfulness. Then you'll start to see things in your mind. You'll see when the mind think about this and that. And if you see that it's not good, then you can use mindfulness to stop it. Using Bhutto, Bhutto, recite the mantra. When you're angry or when you're greedy, when you worry, you can stop this thing by just reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. So mindfulness is the key to balancing your mind, to keep your mind stable. And wisdom will keep your mind wise. Because you'll know what to expect and what not to expect. What to expect is nothing, because you cannot expect anything. So you try not to expect anything. You just take things as they come.
My next question is, how do we know when we reached happiness?
When we're happy,
Mm.
when you're happy, then you reach happiness. But the happiness can be temporary. Our practice is not stable yet. Our mindfulness is not stable, not always present. So whenever we have mindfulness, our mind tends to be happier than when we don't have mindfulness. So when you're not happy, you can tell yourself that I'm not being mindful. I should come back to the mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto.
And also my last question is, since I have joined the community online, I feel quite disconnected from my initial joy and purpose of practicing individually in private. Is that normal? And how do I bring back that initial peace and joy that I was when I was practicing without really trying to improve myself on practicing?
Well, go back to the same old way. If you want the same result, just go back and do what you did before.
Mm.
But you can have both. You can join a community for information, for knowledge. Then you go back and you practice on your own again.
Mhm. Mhm.
Here, this is the place where you want to learn more about how to control your mind. But you can still go back and do whatever you think that you did and that made you happy, that you're happy with. Then you should go back there.
I will try to find back that happy place of mind where I meditated and it brought me a lot of peacefulness and mindfulness. Yes, it's very hard for me these days to feel back that sensation. And I think that was perhaps jhana, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm. When you're peaceful and happy, then that's jhana.
Mm.
So we want to keep the mind in jhana most of the time, if possible.
Also during the day.
During the day, during in your waking hours, during your waking hours, you can use mindfulness to keep your mind in jhana.
Mm. Thank you.
Okay, is that all?
Yes, thank you, Dhanajan.
All right, you're welcome. Next, Calvin Chim. Calvin,
Ajahn, I don't have any question. Just here to pay my respect to you.
are you from Singapore?
Yes, I'm from Singapore.
Okay, fine.
Thank you,
Next,
Ajahn.
you're welcome. Next, outsourcing from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tan Ajahn. I'm just listening. Thank
Okay.
you, Tan Ajahn.
Fiona Charlotte, I think she's from Indonesia, Surabaya, right?
Yes, yes, all right, Ajahn. I want to ask, at my school, we have a mindfulness lesson, and last week the teacher used sound as a meditation object, but the sound wasn't natural. It was from his phone, and I felt the sound was creepy and it was distracted to me. So how can I control my mind so that I am not distracted by the sound and can meditate in the right way?
Well, when you are in around people or things, you just have to pay attention to what you're supposed to do. But when you want to meditate, then you should be alone. Find a quiet place to meditate, not with other people around you. So if you're in a class and the teacher said use sound, you just follow what he said, but after the class, then you can do your own way. If you find the sound doesn't give you the result that you like, you want, then you don't have to use it when you're on your own. But when you're in the class, I don't know why do you want to take this class in the first place? This is If you listen to Dhamma talk, that's okay. Sound of Dhamma talk is soothing, calming the mind. But other sound, it should be just natural sound, like when you're alone in the forest and you hear sound of birds, sound of wind, things like this is okay. But you don't pay attention to them. You want to focus on something more stable, more reliable, like your breath. Or you can use a mantra. to keep your mind calm and peaceful. Does this help
Yes, help Ajahn.
answer your question?
No question. Anamudana Ajahn.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Koksing from Singapore.
Good evening, Prajan. This evening, I have 3 questions. First, to update Prajan about the Dana. So I have renewed my resolution for offering food to the bhikkhus from Wat Yannasangwararam when they go on Pinapata. So I have tell myself that if I will go for Pinapata, I will offer food if there is no inclement weather, there is my body is not sick, and there are no urgent matter at home. So so I have made these so-called new conditions for myself for in offering of food for the Pinapata. Then the second question that I have is just an update on my bhavana, on my samatha bhavana. These few days I have a nose block, and what happened was I was trying very hard to breathe in, and when I try to breathe out, trying to force my breath out, so sometimes the mucus are being forced out of my nostrils as well. And I try as far as possible, try not to do anything, just leave the mucus alone. But sometimes the mucus will drip down, flow down to my lip set. So when that happens, I will stop my meditation. I will rise from my seat, go to the kitchen, get a tissue, and wipe off the mucus. So this occurs almost every 30 to 45 minutes of sitting. So I'm not sure whether Prajan has any comments or advice regarding this condition that I'm facing for the last few days.
Does it only happen during meditation, or it happens all day?
It happens almost whole day. Yeah, even sometimes when I revert to walking meditation, the nose is also blocked, and I have to breathe in very hard. Yeah.
Well, you just have to accept that this is a condition of the body that you cannot do anything about.
Mm. Mm.
So if you cannot meditate, then you might practice mindfulness instead, walking meditation, or do something else that doesn't require that you have to be perfectly still.
Mm.
This meeting is being archived.
Yeah.
Got it? Sometimes you
Yes.
can get sick, you might have runny nose, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to wait until the body gets well before you can do sitting meditation.
Mm.
But you can do walking meditation so that you can maintain mindfulness.
Mm. Mm. Then my third question, Ajahn, is regarding one of the questions asked by Christine Cohen about 2 weeks ago when she visited some of those Kuba Ajahns during her pilgrimage in Thailand, and those from Pop advised her to work for another 1 year before she goes to stay at the monastery. And she was saying that, or maybe it's because she needs to polish her so-called her sensitive level to dukkha. and I was thinking about my own sensitivity level to dukkha, and I was reflecting that the Lord Buddha during Lord Buddha has actually saw an old man, saw a sick person and a dying man, and this this visual sight has actually prompted Lord Buddha to renounce everything, all the worldly thing, and become to lead a homeless life. So I was thinking, I have seen an old person before, I've seen a sick person before, I've seen a dead person before, but I don't have that kind of heightened awareness. So, so I'm just thinking, and if how do I, or what should I do so that I had that kind of same kind of heightened awareness as what Lord Buddha has experienced?
Yeah, you just have to look at it more often. Think of it more often. Think about aging, sickness, and death more often. So it become impressed in your mind eventually. Right now, it hasn't yet got into your mind. It just got to the surface, but not deep enough inside your mind to hurt you. You know, you have to feeling the hurt of getting old, getting sick, and die. Then this will then have impact on your decision to move to your practice, to do more practice. But if it doesn't yet have any impact on you, then you just have to keep looking. Maybe you have to go visit some old people at the hospital, sick people, go to the morgue and look at some corpses. Then this might be more impressive to you. Maybe now you look at it and you think it's still a distant away. You're not old yet, you're not sick yet, you're not dead yet. So maybe you have to go to see the real thing, see old people, see sick people, and see dead people, and then reflect on the fact that you will also be like this sooner or later.
I think, I think Prajan, you're right, is that all this sight, it doesn't, or all these images doesn't hurt, doesn't penetrate into my heart at the moment.
Yes, because maybe your delusion or your defilement is telling you, oh, I'm still young, I'm still strong, you know, I still have lots of many years to live. So it doesn't hurt you to see these images or think about it. But you can think that death can come at any time. Death doesn't always follow aging and sickness. Sometimes it comes ahead of aging and sickness. So you might have to rearrange the order. Death, aging, and sickness instead.
Yes.
The Buddha said you should reflect on death a lot more. Like if you can, every breathing, every breath up, you should think of death. When you breathe in and you don't breathe out, you die. When you breathe out and you don't breathe in, you die. Okay, I think you have to do more contemplation to summarize. You have to think more of it. Think of it every day and many times a day, you know. The Buddha asked the Venerable Ananda, how many times you reflect on death? Ananda said 4 or 5 times. Said the Buddha, this is not enough. You have to reflect on every in and out of your breath. Then you don't forget. Then you know this is real, it's gonna happen. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prajan.
You're welcome. Next, Vandana. Hi, Vandana, where are you from? from California, right? Santa Cruz?
Santa Clara.
Oh, Santa Clara, okay.
Thank you, Ajahn. I know I thought you must not remember me because it's been I think 1.5 years or maybe 1 year since I came on Zoom, but I was of course following you on Facebook every week. And I remember telling you last time that I will come to Thailand, but then I went to Bodh Gaya instead. So I
Mm.
thought, okay, but now this time I'm coming in January first week, and then I'll come. I'm going to stay at Wat Yannasangwararam, Ajahn Anand's monastery for 1 week, and then after that I will come and pay my respect to Ajahn. It will be. It was quite a journey for past few years, but your teachings were very, very helpful, and I could see a lot of progress. Of course, in the meditation became very peaceful and very happy, and those I noticed that with so many personal problems, health problems, the mind is bouncing back quicker than before. So it's a very nice feeling to see the Dhamma protecting in every way. I just wanted to say thank you so much for your all teachings, and especially for the being mindfulness is the key for the meditation practice, which is now becoming very is actually is becoming natural now. That is, you can't, if you're meditating, that is you going to be mindful in the daily life. That's my experience so far. So I thought
Yes.
I'm going. Yes.
Without mindfulness, you will not succeed in your meditation.
Yes.
So
And
keep maintaining mindfulness all the time during your waking hours.
yes, and then now I can also see the defilements so closely. Now they cannot fool me much, because the mind can say, yes, this is your conceit, this is your aversion, and now I can see it closely and paying more and more attention to them, and trying to isolate them by keeping mostly 8 precepts, but sometimes the eating, because of the health reason, I have to do it. But that is very, very helpful to see them, the defilements from very, very close, that how they look like, and how I have to just keep reminding the mind that that's what I'm here for, that's what I'm going to work on. For example, right now I'm working on this, the precepts and the right speech is a kind of, I have to see in so many aspects, that it's not only the truth or not speaking lie, but it's also no harsh speech, no gossip, no talking about other people, no matter what it is. So this is nice to see how Dhamma is actually unfolding and giving me all the answers which I was seeking for, and especially the teachings. Ajahn Suchart's teachings are very, very beneficial. That I recommend to all people. Thank you so much, Ajahn.
Okay, happy to hear that. Hope you keep up your practice and increase your practice more and more. Intensify your practice.
And I will see you soon, Ajahn.
Okay, see you next year, right? January?
Yes, in January.
Okay. All right. Until then, bye-bye. Okay. Next, Alvin.
Namaskar, Ajahn. Just to pay respect, I don't have any question tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Next is Nita and Saket, also from Santa Clara, right? You know her? You know Vandana? What?
Ajahn, she's a very good friend of ours.
I see. Okay.
Actually, Ajahn, a follow-up question, what Vandana was asking, and you replied that we should intensify our practice.
Yes.
How can we intensify our practice?
Do more. Do more.
Like more meditation, more sitting meditation, or more mindfulness, or
More mindfulness, more meditation, more wisdom, listening to more Dhamma talks, study more. And
And does it mean that we should reduce our socializing time, or
definitely, you need, if you want to practice more, you have to take the time from your socializing and your sensual pleasure also. You have to take away from, or else you won't have time. If you still want to enjoy the sensual pleasure, you still want to socialize, then you don't have much time for your meditation practice. So you have to reduce your social contact, your social activities, and do more solitude activity.
right? So recently, like we were attending some Katina festivals here. Of course, in there's meeting Kalyana Mittas, there's discussing, talking, and it feels good also to meet Kalyana Mittas. And we talk about Dhamma, we talk about our practice. So should we reduce that as well, or is that okay?
Well, if you think it's still beneficial for you, then you can keep it for now until maybe later on when you find that they're no longer beneficial, then you can give up also. As you advance in your practice, you'll find that you want to be alone more and more. And you'll find that any type of social contact is more distracting than helpful. Then you'll give up. But right now, if you think that it's still helpful, beneficial for you, you can keep them, as long as they are within the religious context. Not other type of social activities like partying and sensual pleasure type of part of socializing, but more for the purpose of learning more, maybe from other people about the practice, about the teaching of the Buddha. And this is still considered it's not considered to be a social, really. It's just considered to be part of the path. You have to study with the practice, because sometimes when you practice, you might forget or you might get lost, and you might want to listen to other people, especially like this meeting. You can join this meeting. This is not considered to be a social gathering. It's more of a class gathering where you learn the Dhamma. So you need to keep study the Dhamma as you practice. You cannot just practice alone, because after a while you can forget what you have studied. So you have to reinforce yourself with the same knowledge again and again as you keep on practicing. So both need to go together: practice and study, or learning Dhamma teaching from someone who can teach you, who can help you.
But one more question I had, Ajahn. Sometimes when we are observing, like I'm observing the mind and I'm observing the body, and I feel that the mind is really extremely agitated, extremely judgmental, and there are a lot of defilements. And I try chanting Buddha, it doesn't work. I try to rationalize it, it doesn't work. So at that time, how should I handle myself skillfully?
Well, you should not be looking at your mind yet if you don't have enough mindfulness to stop the mind whenever it's acting badly. So don't watch the mind, watch your body instead. Keep watching your body, keep reciting the mantra. Then your mantra or watching the body will give you stronger mindfulness. Then later on, you can look at the mind. But first, before you can look at the mind, you have to stop the mind first. You must have the ability to stop the mind by entering into jhana first. Once you enter into jhana, then you know that you have strong mindfulness enough to stop the mind. Then you can keep, if you want to, you can watch the mind, look at the mind, look at the mind, what the mind is doing. If it's going on the bad direction, you can stop it. But if you cannot stop the mind yet, then don't watch the mind. The mind is too big a job for you. So you first have to develop more mindfulness. You need a tool to watch the mind with. So keep staying with mindfulness and meditation until you get to jhana. Once you get to jhana, then you can then go and look at the mind if you want to. But still, before you can watch the mind, you must really have to watch the body, understand the body first, then understand the nature of feeling before you can eventually watch the nature of the mind. The mind is the last thing you want to watch, want to deal with, because it's the most difficult subject. So the Buddha said, tackle the easiest subject first. First is the body. Try to understand the true nature of the body. It's anicca, it's impermanent, it's subjected to aging, sickness, and death. Can you accept this truth or not? See? Then you can go to Vedana, feeling. Feeling also anicca, changing all the time. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes it feels bad, sometimes it feels neutral. And you cannot control them. You know. Can you leave them alone and let them be? So then after you can let go of your attachment to the body, to feelings, then you can watch the mind, to let go of your attachment to the mind, to the actions of the mind. Okay, we have to do this thing step by step.
Sometimes we want to go ahead of ourselves.
Yes, and you usually fall and you never succeed. You cannot succeed. How many people that I talk with, they want to go to wisdom part right away. They don't want to stick with mindfulness or meditation or jhana. They say, oh, wisdom is the best part of Dhamma. But your wisdom is useless if you have no strength to apply the wisdom. So you need, wisdom is like a weapon, like a gun. But if the user is weak, the user hasn't been sleeping, hasn't been eating, and has no strength to pull the trigger, what good is a weapon for that person, right? You have to build strength for that person first. That person must be strong and have the ability to pull the trigger before you can use the weapon. The Buddha's wisdom said that we have to suppress all our cravings, but we don't have the strength to stop them. See, when our cravings come up, we usually give up, right? Give in to cravings instead of stopping it, refusing it. We keep falling for it, because we don't have the strength to resist it. See, we don't have jhana. Okay, understand?
Yes, Ajahn, but I still am thinking, like, during the day, there are times when I'm trying to concentrate on the body, but the mind is so agitated. It just keeps distracting me.
Then you need to recite a mantra instead.
I'll try with mantra.
Mantra or chanting some verses.
Chanting
Chant
verse.
until the mind become still or become not restless. Then you can stop chanting. But if it's still restless, you have to keep chanting or reciting the mantra. Watching the body is not good enough.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, how about you, Nita?
Yes,
Saket,
Ajahn.
I'm sorry, Saket.
No problem. Fra Ajahn, I had a question around the sila. I was speaking to a friend recently who mentioned that he had intentionally lied, and the whole situation became very complex. And he was wondering whether it's better to go and tell the person that, oh, I had lied and this is what the truth is. But he said that will make the situation even more complex. So I was just wondering, in a situation where we break the sila and then later we realize, oh, maybe at that time we weren't mindful and, we broke the sila. And is it like, what is the right way to deal with that situation?
Just look at the fallout from what you're gonna do. If it's gonna be bad, then it's better not doing anything. Just keep quiet. If you say something, if you make things better, then do it. If you make things worse, then it's better not to say anything. Just let it be.
Yes, Ajahn. And in case we, like in this case, is it better for my friend to go back and tell the person that, oh, I lied. Oh, but then if it makes it more difficult, then don't do it. Understood. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Let things be right now. Everything is fine. So don't do anything. Don't stir up the pot,
Correct. Okay. Yes, Ajahn. That's all for today.
But if what you say might make things better, then okay, then do it. If it makes things worse, then don't do it.
Yes.
Simple. Before you do anything, look at the consequence. Look at the result of your action. Whether it's going to make things better or not. If it's not going to make things better, then you shouldn't do it. Don't do it. Unless you are forced to do it, then that's another story.
That's very clarifying. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, you're welcome. Are you going back to India eventually?
Yes, we booked our tickets, Ajahn.
I see.
We'll be going in January.
And permanently?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Our parents are not very happy and other people are not very happy about it. And they're confident we are making a huge blunder. But we wish that we could have gone tomorrow itself or maybe today.
Okay.
We look forward to it. And thank you for your guidance.
You're welcome. Next, Marco from the Netherlands, from Holland.
Hi, Tarajan. How are you?
How are you? Good?
I'm good. I would like to report my homework, please. It's going well. I'm meditating twice a day now. Start off with meditating in the morning and also in the evening. I see a big difference, especially when I'm a bit anxious about things at work, that in the morning, it's almost impossible to keep the mind on the breathing. It just goes left and right thinking about work. But I try to accept it and I observe it more. So I actually think that I do feel more calm because of that meditation time. And I would like to ask Tanajan, this is the right approach, right? So just do the meditation anyway, because I do feel benefit from it.
Yes, it's better than not doing it, I think.
Yeah, it allows me to actually, I was kind of inspired what you were saying earlier about wanting the wisdom. I think I'm definitely guilty of that I want the wisdom instantly, which is not possible. But I do have the feeling that the meditation practice is helping, at least observing what the feelings are that are coming up. And it allows me also to contemplate on those feelings. So I'm switching boss. There's been a reorganization in my company and it's made me a bit anxious. But I realized I was anxious, and I'm realizing that by realizing I'm anxious, I actually feel more peaceful about it. So I think that the practice is paying off a little bit in that. Also, my walking meditation is going better. I do feel progress. I do feel that more things are showing about other people, and I have the feeling that I feel contempt coming up. But again, I observe it and I try to let it go, and then I compare myself to before where I didn't like myself at all for the way I was. So who am I to actually judge anyway? I have to look inside. But I think that that's also a result of the practice that I've been following. I'm noticing that now the winter period is coming, that I'm getting recollections of sitting with my wife on the couch watching television, and I do have a feeling like, okay, that comes back. I've really stopped it completely, and I'm noticing that those feelings come up, that you have these recollections of that you felt good about that, but when we would watch something, then I noticed the mind actually going outside, and it's not a nice feeling, because it's afterwards you feel a bit empty, and that empty feeling is actually also a motivation to actually keep on following the precepts like I'm doing now. I do have a question about the meditation. So when I'm sitting in meditation, I first recite about the being of the nature to age, being of the nature to sick, and being of the nature to die. And then I feel more peaceful. And then when I pay attention to the breath, I pay attention to the point right in front of the nose. But I have a question about the moment of connection, when it's connecting to the heart, or to the chitta, to the chest. It feels like I'm trying to find that moment, and I know that I'm not supposed to focus on that, but just focus on the breathing bit. Do you have suggestions for me on that?
Well, you just keep watching at the tip of your nose, where the wind come in contact with the body, when it comes in or when it goes out, at the point of contact. Just watch that point. Don't follow the breath in, or don't follow the breath out.
And when it feels like there's a light popping up, so I should not focus on the light, but just keep
You
on
should
looking at the tip of the nose, right?
ignore
Ignore.
them. They are distraction from your concentration. They try to distract you from concentrating on your breath.
Okay. Okay. Thank you,
Stick to your
Ajahn.
breath only, and don't worry about anything else that comes up during meditation. They come and they'll go by themselves. You don't pay any attention to them.
Thank you, Ajahn. Also, the feeling that I get now when I'm doing my meditation, I feel more, like I said, I feel more peaceful. But I also feel like I don't have enough time to do my meditation. So I'm trying to take more time to do the meditation. The mindfulness is going better. I'm realizing now also that there was a situation yesterday that my wife was making a remark that I was angry about it. And my first response always used to be, I'm not angry, but there was actually a feeling there. But it was funny to actually see that, oh, you're right. I actually did defend myself saying that I was angry. And just realizing that feels actually good, because it's like, oh yes, it's a feeling, and it's okay to actually have it, and it's there, and it actually becomes less painful to have that feeling, I think. And one of the things also, I think that the mindfulness is growing. It's also, my patience is growing as well, and I also think that that's because of the practice. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. I know I have a very long way to go, but I'm liking the way to go. It's not like it's a burden, and I think that that's important. I do feel that I don't really want to suffer anymore. I know that I feel more content about things that are happening, but I don't feel content about the life itself. And I think that that's something that I can contemplate on, and that I should keep following, because I don't want to keep going anymore. I'm done. It's difficult.
That's a good discovery. And
Yeah.
some people don't
Yeah.
even know where they're going. Oh, where are they going after death?
Yeah, it's actually, so one of the things I was thinking, I'm wondering if I'm not too eager to find out. And then at the same time, it's yeah, so well, that's a good sign, right? Because then I'm not afraid. So it's when the moment happens, I'm very curious, because I've been listening a lot also about Dhamma talks from Tana Jampanya and also Wangta, and I'm motivated by hearing what I hear. I feel I'm actually really afraid of breaking my precepts now, which is a good thing to be, because I'm also realizing that. But in the past, when I was not keeping the precepts, it's actually really difficult to keep to actually meditate and get anywhere. And I think that that's also why I was so drowsy when I was meditating. It's just like there's no mindfulness there. I do think it's growing, but I would like to have, like, on your mobile phone, you have this little bar that you see how full it is, right? I would like to see how full the mindfulness bar is at this point, just to test myself.
Well, you can feel it in yourself, how mindful you are.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it's getting stronger. I'm getting more confident, and I'm also more confident about what's happening, because I feel now that I'm doing the right things. I'm following the right path, so I don't feel afraid of what I was saying. And at best, I was afraid of saying what I was saying. I was like worried too much about what people would think about me, or if I'm doing the right thing, or am I hurting somebody, or what I'm doing. And it's more now, are you doing the right thing? Because if you're doing the right thing, you don't have to worry about anything. Then it's fine. And I think that that's something that I need to always keep in mind. But it's easier with the mindfulness because you just focus on that automatically almost. And that's what, yeah, that's what it feels really good. It feels really good. And I really appreciate these moments. So I just want to pay my respects to you. And also, thank you for the guidance always, because this is what's been lacking in my life, I think. If I'm really honest about it, in the past, I was telling myself my goal is to take care of my family, but that was not a real goal. It's just trying to sustain a certain feeling which you know you cannot sustain, and it's trying to hold on to something that you know you cannot hold on to. And I'm realizing as well, when we do our 8 precepts and we go for a walk, then I'm so used to holding my wife's hand, but we can't do that on that day, so we won't. And actually, the first times it felt really uncomfortable. It's like, oh, I'm missing something, and that's when I realized how deep that attachment really is. And then realizing, but it cannot remain like this. I have to prepare for that. I have to know that it all changes. It's all not going to be the way it is now. It's not going to be always good. And that's realizing that has been eye-opening, I think.
Yes, you have to prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very concerned also when, and actually I'm motivated as well from when my wife goes to Thailand, but at the same time I'm concerned because I've been having some struggles with my son, which I'm worried about, but that's also part of the deal, I think. It's also part of my own karma, right?
Whenever you worry about, people always reflect on the impermanent nature of the body. And all your worry will be gone because you know there's nothing you can do anything about it.
True.
Everybody's gonna get old, get sick, and die.
True. Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Rohini from the UK.
Good evening, Ajahn.
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. I don't have any questions, but I just want to pay my respect to you, Ajahn. And yeah, and also I just want to say thank you very much, and I'm so grateful. Now my mind is so peaceful, you know. Your teaching helped me to put me in the right path. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're happy being alone and not lonely?
Yeah, I'm very, very happy, you know, and I don't even know, I really know now what I have to do after listening to your Dhamma talk and reading your Dhamma books. And I don't even want to talk to anybody anymore. I just don't like to receive calls, and well, my main focus is just to be mindful and improve my meditation. So when I read Ajahns biography and all the Ajahns, like Ajahn Man and all these Ajahns, and they sacrificed a lot. And even Buddha, before he became Buddha, he sacrificed a lot. So I think to myself, without sacrifice, you can't really achieve this. So yeah, so it's hard work, but so I'm doing my best.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just keep on doing your meditation and mindfulness practices.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next, Steph, how are you?
I'm okay.
Life goes on.
Yeah, I'm dealing with a lot of fear. I don't feel, yeah, there's like a lot of fear coming up. So I'm just trying to be really mindful and just keep myself, yeah.
just reflect on the general picture that everybody is subjected to aging, sickness, and death.
The first thing that I did is I started reading suttas, and I was just reading Buddha's words. And I mean, they dealt with that. They were like walking through the country and there was all these different things happening. So it's just security is an illusion.
Mhm. There's no security in life.
Yeah.
Life is eventually gonna end for everyone.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to worry about really. If you can accept the insecurity of life.
Yeah, I'm just trying to focus on, yeah, it's okay to feel insecure. This is where I'm at. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Just meditate and calm your mind, forget about everything. Let things
Yeah.
happen. Right now things is okay. So just enjoy it while it's still while it lasts. When things start to become worse, then okay, then you have to
Still meditate.
meditate, and you can separate yourself from your body, you see, right, with meditation. So whatever happens to your body, you can be away from it, and you will not be affected by it.
Yeah. You're right. I'm a little bit too interconnected right now.
Yeah, we're too attached to the body.
Yeah,
Too
that's
cling to
true.
the body.
That is true.
So think more on the impermanent nature of the body.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank
And
you.
meditate. The way to separate your mind from the body is through meditation, through mindfulness.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Next, Marsha. Look like you're in a different place.
Oh yes. I live with my daughter and she moved. I had so much aversion and to coming to the new house, and had so many defilements related to smelling and hearing. And then there was the election, of course, and I realized all these things, I cannot control it. You just have to let it go. So it's like
like the weather. It's like the weather.
it is just like the weather. And I thought, I'm not going to hold on to this suffering. It's imaginary. What is going to happen in the future? It's all imaginary right now. So I thought, no, I'm just going to work. I'm going to think about aging, disease, death, which are my real problems. Everything else will continue.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
so,
That's our real problem, is how to deal with aging, sickness, and death.
yeah. So then as a result, my meditation, started to improve again. And I usually work with the nose tip, and I find that if I just patiently work with that nose tip, that, when the thoughts come in, then mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is a little bit sharper, and I discard the thought, go right back to the nose tip, and just having confidence in that. It's like first you need the patience to persist, and then the confidence really begins to grow. And then even when the little thought trains come in and out, they don't have any force anymore. And I can just feel there's like a lifting energy that happens, and then going back to the nose tip. And then I've been thinking about, there was a time some years ago where I would see the urge to breathe in and the urge to breathe out, and I could feel the breath. So I was having the intention, the mindfulness, the feeling, the knowing. And so I started doing that again. And it just, the meditation was so different. And then from the nose tip seems to shift like into the eyes. It like moves. And from the eyes, it will raise up to the top of the head. And you know, I don't, how much should you pay attention to stuff like that? I mean, should I like try to go back down to the nose tip, or should I just watch what is happening?
Just stay at the nose tip, and whatever you feel, just ignore them. They are illusional. They are deceiving you. It's your mental fabrication. Because you know, in real terms, things don't change, right? The body is still the body, and you're sitting in the same place. Your nose cannot move up or down. Don't let those feelings fool you.
It's like the attention is moving.
Just stay at the same old place where you started.
That is the hardest thing to do. And then things become very empty as well. I keep on finding the empty spaces.
As long as the mind is empty, that's okay. If there are no thoughts and the mind feels empty and peaceful, that's okay.
And then there was one time where the emptiness started to become very still. And I thought, well, this is really where I need to be. It's almost like a stopping of everything. And it didn't last long, but it's like no vibration in the mind at all. It's very hard to describe these things when they happen, but it's a definite shift.
Just keep watching, that's all. Whenever these things happen, just keep watching. How long it lasts, you cannot control them. So let it be. If it's still for a while, okay. If it lasts longer, that's fine. If it doesn't, you can restart your meditation again if you like. After that emptiness disappears, then you can come back to your breathing, to your breath again.
Yeah, that's actually what I've been doing that, and it's becoming so much easier to go back and forth. It's like I have a center when I'm meditating now, and if the thoughts come, mindfulness can cut it off, and I can connect right back to the nose tip very easily. And then those other shifts, they come and they go, and it's like, it's just a process. The whole thing is like, and then I keep on thinking, training the mind, just keep training the mind, train it to
be still, really. That's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to do.
Well, I cannot create that stillness, but if I just keep training, then that stillness comes. It's like it's happened enough times now that there's a confidence where I know I'm doing the right thing, whether or not anything happens on any given day in the meditation, whether or not it turns into stillness. I really know now that I have the right process.
You just have to do more of it.
Yeah.
Try to do as much as possible. Then you can remain still and peaceful. And you don't react to anything. You just let things be.
Yeah. I still haven't figured out, you know, how that arising of contentment, how that happens. When I went to vote last Tuesday, it's like only the third time in my life that I've voted. Usually I just don't pay any attention. But after I stood in the line and went and did the voting and everything, and I was driving somewhere afterwards, and there was just a profound sense of peace. I mean, it's a peace that just fills you and like overflows, and it can last for, you know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you know, driving the car, and like the eyes tear up and things like that. And I know it's all related to the practice, but how does that work? You know, when these things, they just happen.
Yes, sometimes the result of your meditation doesn't happen during meditation. It can happen later on, maybe days or hours later, when you somehow have letting go of something, you know, or doing something right or something. Then this feeling of release, this feeling of peacefulness will appear in your mind. So don't worry about how it happened. Just know that it happened, and then be grateful for it, and try to do more mindfulness and meditation, and this thing will happen more and more.
And then when you look at that, you know, the arising of contentment and then the emptiness in the meditation, should I just look at these things as, oh, these are just things that happen because I'm meditating?
Yes, these are the results of your meditation and your mindfulness practice. Sometimes it doesn't happen right away during your practice. It might happen later on. When you're not expecting it, the least you expect it, it will happen. The more you expect it, it will not happen. So
Okay.
you can say that this is a result of your meditation practice, the result of your mindfulness practice. But the link might be a little bit hard to you know, to link it with each other. But this is what it is. Mindfulness and meditation will give you peace and contentment sooner or later. So keep on practicing mindfulness and meditation, and you have more contentment as you move along.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Thank
Good
you
luck to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Next, Philip from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tanjan. I just got a maybe curious question to ask you. Over the years of having so many students and teaching students, what would you say are the more common practitioner problems or issues that actually cropped up time and time again? I mean, I think you have answered some of it earlier. I just want to perhaps maybe get a summary like that.
I think most people don't know the order of practice. They don't know which come first or which come later on. Sometimes they think that everything come together at the same time, doing everything at the same time. But actually, they are separate practices.
Yes. Would you say also maybe patient also has been one of it? I mean, I've also noticed that maybe it's because of modern society and things like that. We want to see result almost immediately, and we just can't wait for for something just to happen. I mean, we just need to see something to happen. I need to sit down there and then suddenly I need to attain jhana or
Yes. In the age of instant gratification, you think everything can happen instantly. People think as soon as you sit and meditate, you get to jhana right away.
Yeah.
But in reality, it doesn't happen like that. It takes time and effort to stop your mind from thinking. And takes a lot of effort. Then something that you don't think you can put up. That is, be mindful all day long. See, this is the part that people don't understand. They think you can meditate, and when you sit and meditate, you should get the result, right away. But the result depends on your mindfulness, the strength of your mindfulness, the continuity of your mindfulness. If you don't have mindfulness continuity, your mind keep going running back and forth, then you will not be able to still the mind. Yeah. So people don't understand that they have to practice mindfulness first before they can meditate successfully. They think they can just sit down and meditate right away and get the result from their sitting. They might get some small result. They might feel a little bit lighter, calmer, but that's just surface. It's just superficial result. You haven't really seen the real calm the mind. The depth of this calm, the strength of this calm can be very what you call amazing, something that you might not have experienced before in your life. This is the thing that you need to get to. And to get to this, you need to have more mindfulness.
Okay. Ajahn, with regards to the practice, I believe that I'm one of those creatures of habit that when I practice every day, there's a certain time that I practice, give and take 15 minutes apart from, if let's say it's 6 o'clock, I meditate in the morning, in the evening, at 10 at night or whatsoever. And during even the sitting meditation, I've also noticed that at certain intervals or whatever it is, maybe at the 45-minute mark or 50-minute mark, I can get aware or the breathing becomes deeper and things like that. I mean, are there any techniques for me to break it, or I should just let it be?
What do you mean? Let what be?
I mean, just let the meditation continue as it is, because, like, for example, when I do sitting meditation, maybe at a certain point in time, I roughly know how long I have been sitting.
You have to stick to your mindfulness. Yeah, your mindfulness of breathing. You have to keep continuing watching your breath. Don't let the watching of the breath pass and gone, and then you're sort of in a like a you might think you're in some kind of a calm, but it's not real calm. I think it's more like in a trance.
Okay.
Which it's not a trance when you meditate. In a trance, sometimes you feel you don't know what's going on. You're sort of like being sleeping, But this is not sleeping. You have to be fully awake. You always have to be watching something. Like if you watch the breath, you have to keep watching the breath until when the mind becomes still, then everything stops automatically by itself.
Okay.
If the mind doesn't stop, if the mind doesn't become still, you just have to keep watching your breath. Or if you use mantra, you just have to keep reciting the mantra. Okay, it's like eating. You just have to keep eating until you feel full. When you're full, you stop eating automatically.
Mm, mm. So the subtle know that I mean one of the things about living in Malaysia is it's you have the prayer times which they go on the loudspeaker. So I mean it's kind of like a clock tower that you can hear. So when you do meditate, you know, oh, it's 7:30. It's that kind of that kind of thing that happens. Yeah, I although you can just shut it off. But the body goes into the body or the practice goes into habitual. It becomes a habitual thing after a while. So I guess you just have to push it through, right? I mean, pushing through, continuing having the mindfulness on the tip of your nose or even at the mantra.
Yes, and you know everything else that appears, that happens around you. You know everything that happens around you. The sound of the loudspeaker, for instance. Just don't pay attention to them. Just pay attention to your breath or your mantra when you meditate. Okay.
Okay.
All right, you're welcome. Next, Anura and Ramya from New Zealand. Cannot hear you. Something wrong with your speaker, your microphone or something? The mic is turned on, but somehow your sounding doesn't come through.
Can you hear that? So
You have to speak louder.
yeah, sorry for this. We have a problem here in the computer. Yeah, good evening, Tanajan. So
Okay, I can hear you now.
yep, yeah. So practice is okay. Not great. Not enough time, but it's okay for me. So 2 days ago, I went to the dentist. So I use mantra to go through the pain. And today I have a tooth extractions. I'm planning to do the same. I think it's helping using the mantra. So to overcome the pain. So that's helping. Yeah. No other question, Tangajan. Yeah.
Yes, the mantra will lessen the mental pain, not the physical pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the mental pain is much more painful than the physical pain. So if you can lessen the mental pain, then you feel that the physical pain isn't that painful at all. It's good way to deal with things when your mind is agitated, is suffering from something. Use mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Then you can calm it down and make the suffering goes away.
Yeah. The whole thing is like another small test, how I can deal when I'm dying. There's a small pain.
Yeah, it's the pain that is the difficult part. Dying is easy because when you stop breathing, then you die. But it's the pain that we have to go through, the sickness that we have to go through. So it's good to practice now to teach the mind how to deal with the pain properly. So that when you get sick, then you can use the practice to help you ease the pain, the mental pain.
Been using
Okay.
the same with tooth infection for last 3-4 weeks. So I'm using the same method. So I think it's helping a lot. Yeah.
Okay. The goal is to keep the mind calm. Whatever happens, just keep the mind calm and let things happen. Things that beyond your control, there's nothing you can do anything about it. Then just leave them alone. Let them be. Control your mind. Make your mind calm and peaceful, and your mind will be safe from suffering. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Tangajan. Thank you.
Ramya, nothing?
Questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, Aparachita from Dubai.
Good evening, Prajan.
Can you speak louder, please?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
better. Yes, better.
Yeah. Good evening. Just listening and
Still
continue.
learning, still learning.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I also kind of thought as an extra mindfulness exercise to try and memorize. It's a good.
Good way to
Yeah.
develop mindfulness.
Yes.
Try to recite the sutta if you can, one sutta.
I'm working towards that. I just started with like just the paritas, so at least they're shorter paragraphs. But slowly I will work towards a sutta.
Okay. When you meditate, you can use reciting the sutta as your meditation object. If you find not able to watch your breath yet, then you use the chanting as your object of meditation to calm your mind with.
Yes, it's yes. So I'm happy just practicing, and just as everybody was speaking, I just thought. I think over the years I've begun to realize that phrase, like I take refuge, in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. I think truly that is a refuge.
Yes, the mind's refuge.
Yes. So,
That's good. You have the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, your mind can become calm and peaceful, regardless of whatever happened. Things around you can go bad, can go sour, but if your mind is calm, then your mind is protected. Your mind will not go sour or go bad with what's happening around you.
Yeah.
So keep meditating, keep practicing mindfulness, keep reciting the suttas. When your mind becomes stressful, just recite the mantra or recite the sutta, and after a while, the mind will become calm, peaceful. Okay. All right.
Continue to practice. Thank
Go
you.
to Vancouver, Sri and check.
Greetings, Ajahn.
Good evening, Ajahn.
Greetings to you. What can I do for you?
I think like last week, we talked about like the kind of benefits of being mindful, and of course, like is to the end result is to end the suffering, and then in order to see suffering, so you taught us like, I mean, to get to know suffering, like dukkha. So Ajahn, when we get to know dukkha, is it like the first noble truth?
Yes, when you're not happy, that's dukkha already. When you have a stomach ache, are you happy or not?
No.
Okay. See, the happiness is in the mind. The unhappiness is in the mind. This is dukkha. The stomach is in the body. See? They are two separate. They are two separate things. The Buddha talk about the suffering of the mind when the body goes something wrong with the body. When you have stomach ache, the mind also become unhappy, become agitated, become fearful sometimes. Am I going to get cancer or something? That's suffering of the mind. That we can deal with. But the suffering of the body, the pain, the sickness of the body, sometimes we can do it, sometimes we cannot. We go to the doctor and the doctor say, okay, no problem, you can cure this disease. But sometimes the doctor say, oh, this disease is incurable. Then you just have to accept it. But the suffering of the mind, you can eliminate it completely. Because the cause of our suffering, if we know what it is and if we can get rid of it, then the suffering of the mind will disappear. And the cause of our suffering of the mind is due to our attachment to our body. See, if we can let go of our attachment to the body, then whatever happens to the body will not make the mind unhappy. If you can look at your body as if you look at my body, for instance, if you think your body and my body is like my body. So when I get sick, you don't feel unhappy or sad about it, because you know it's not you. But your body, you think it is you. So anything happens to it, you think it's happening to you. So this is what you have to teach your mind with that this body is not you. You're just the user of the body. This body is just like an automobile you buy from a shop, and you drive it around. And when it breaks down, you take it to the shop and have it fixed. If you cannot fix it, then you just junk it and get a new car, right? So this is what you have to look at the body. If you can look at the body like an automobile, then your mind can be safe from suffering, be free from suffering. But you don't look at the body that way. You look at the body, this is me, this is myself. And when it is me, it is myself, I want it to be best, I want it to be good, I want it to be healthy and strong. And when it doesn't happen, then you get stress, you get suffering in the mind. So you have to teach yourself that this body is not you, and this body gonna get old, get sick, and die. There's no other way you can avoid it. And try to teach your mind to accept it, just like you accept an automobile. When you bought a car from the shop, you know it's not gonna last forever, right? After you drive for a few years, you know something is gonna break down, right? Same way with your body. You're not the body, you're just the user or the driver of the body. So this is the way to solve our dukkha. Not the body dukkha, but the mind dukkha. We are the mind. We have to teach the mind that this body is not the mind. The mind is just another person. The body is like an automobile, and the mind is just a driver. Who got this automobile from your parents? Your parents gave you this automobile, this car to drive around. But it has condition attached to this automobile. It's gonna get old, get sick, and die. It's not gonna last forever. So you have to accept this and learn to let go. Don't cling to it when things happen to it. Let it be. Then there will be no dukkha in the mind. There'll be dukkha in the body, but the body is not you. And in order to separate the mind from the body, you have to meditate. You have to enter jhana. When you enter into jhana, the mind and the body separate temporarily. And when the body and mind are separated, the mind feels peaceful and happy. So you have a refuge in the future. When anything happens to your body, you can enter into jhana and not suffer the pain of the body.
Yeah.
And if you can look at the body as not being yourself, it's like a servant, it's like an automobile, then you will not be affected by whatever happened to the body without having to go into jhana even. But you have to first have jhana so that you know that you can exist alone without the body.
Yeah, that's helpful because of course, like everybody fear of the moment like dying. But if I know that if I get to jhana, then I don't have to worry or afraid of dying at that moment.
Yeah, because you can
It's
just
kind of like
remain still and let go of the body, let it die. So practice mindfulness and meditation to get into jhana. You have enough information or wisdom already regarding the body and the mind, but you cannot do it. You cannot separate the mind from the body because you don't have enough strength to pull it apart, pull them apart. That's why you meditate with mindfulness. When you meditate with mindfulness, you pull the mind away from the body. Then whatever happens to the body, you can just let it be. So practice mindfulness and meditation to get to jhana. Once you get into jhana, once you understand the difference between the body and mind, that they are two separate things, then you just apply this knowledge to it. That's all. Body is not me. I'm the mind. I don't die with the body. I don't get sick with the body. So why should I get all upset about the body? You get upset because you think you're the body, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think your body is you? You are the body? You
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And also we use the body to like
To
you
do
know
everything for
it's
you.
for everything, right? For enjoyments and everything.
So you rely on the body, so you cling to the body. You don't want the body,
Yeah.
anything bad to happen to the body. And this
Yeah.
can cause you
Right now the
suffering.
happiness.
But if you don't use the body, you don't rely on the body, then it doesn't matter, right? What happens to the body. You can be happy with jhana, so you don't need the body. So you have to find a replacement for your body, and jhana is a replacement. See? Once you have jhana, you can be happier than having the body, using the body to make you happy. Okay.
Yes,
That
Ajahn.
very helpful, Ajahn.
Thank you, Ajahn.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, B. Ravin from Bangkok.
Hi, good evening, Prajan.
How are
Hope
you?
you're doing well. I'm fine, thank you. I hope you are doing well also.
Thank you, awesome.
So, Prajan, I was listening to your talk today, and you mentioned a lot about mindfulness before wisdom, and your phrase about the body doesn't belong to us. But it's easy to say that, but to really understand it is much more difficult. And I realized that the only time that I feel that the body and the mind are separate is when I meditate and I am able to achieve some sense of calmness. That's when I momentarily realize that they are separate. But after I come out of meditation, the mindfulness starts to die away, and then I forget again. So I think bottom line is I need to meditate more frequently and for longer periods.
And after meditation, you have to keep practicing mindfulness also.
From the time I get up to the time I go to sleep.
To sleep until you are able to separate the mind from the body with meditation. Then after that, when you come out of meditation, you can keep reminding yourself, I'm not the body, I'm just the mind, I'm just the user of the body. And this body will not last forever. I'm going to have to give it up one day. So you teach your mind to let go before things happen. See? So when things happen, then you know how to let go.
So I should view the body as one of my possessions, maybe like a glass or a car or one,
That's right. It is.
something I own.
It is the most precious possession. That's all. But it's just a possession, and it has the same nature as everything else. It's temporary. It's impermanent, and you cannot control it. You cannot stop it from getting sick, getting old, or die.
So that's why dana can help, right, Prajan? Because if we give away some of our possessions, we cling less to them, and it
That's
reduces
right.
our attachment.
And you can also see the example of giving, that when you give something, you feel good. So it makes it easier for you to give more. See, to give something more precious, like give your body. You might first give your body, give your time of your body for some other people's benefit, like do some charity work. Instead of doing everything for yourself, now you start to do things for other people. So you feel that giving it makes the mind feel happier than taking or clinging to things. Clinging to things can make the mind nervous, because you don't know whether you can keep it, things that you want to keep or not sometimes. But once you give that away, then there's no feeling of anxiety or worry about that thing anymore. So you want to give more and more and just keep only what you need. Because the less you have, then the less worry you will have. The more you have, the more worry you will have about your possession. How you going to keep it? How you going to protect it?
I mean, that's the truth, but people tend to contradict the truth and want more and more.
That's right, because they're stupid, see. The Buddha was smart, so he gave up everything. He said, "These things are not good for me." Look at all the noble disciples. They all gave up everything and became monks. Yeah. Because they find possession is suffering, cause the mind suffering, cause the mind stress. If you don't want to have stress, then don't have nothing. When you have nothing, there's nothing to worry about. You worry when you have something, you have to worry about that something. How you're gonna keep it? How you gonna protect it? Don't try to live with less possession. That's why this is the purpose of charity, of dana. Only keep what you need. What you don't need, give it away. Then you have less worry, less responsibility also. You don't have to look after them.
It reduces greed as well.
That's right. It's the opposite of greed. Giving is the opposite of greed. The more you give, the less greed you will have. Greed is taking, right?
Yes.
And charity is giving. And the more you give, then the less you want to take, the less you want to have. And when you don't have greed, you feel more restful, more peaceful. You don't feel anxious. You don't have to worry about whether you're gonna get what you want or not.
So Prajan, there are some people who give with the hope of gaining something in return. That's bad, right? You should
That's
give
right.
with no
Give it,
condition.
no condition. Don't expect anything from return. But if somebody would want to show their gratefulness and give you something, you accept it, but not out of greed, out of courtesy. Sometimes they might give you a reward or something, like a gold medal for doing good. Okay, you accept it just out of courtesy, not because you want to have it, to show to people, oh, I'm good, I have this gold medal for being good. But generally speaking, you don't want anything back when you give something away. because you already get what you want to get is a good feeling of giving, see, of giving. And that's more important than anything that anybody can give you in return. But it's
So
nice to see people who are grateful for what you do for them also. If they want to show their gratefulness, that's fine also. But you just don't expect it from them. Because if you expect and if they don't show gratefulness, then you might be disappointed. You might be sad.
don't have expectation.
Yeah, so giving doesn't expect anything back in return. But because the act of giving itself, you get a lot from giving. You get a sense of freedom in your mind. Your mind is released from this obligation or responsibility of looking after this piece of possession. Like if you give your car away, and then you don't have to worry about looking after your cars, taking to a shop, changing tire when it has a flat tire. So nothing. It's better use public transportation, taxi. Okay.
Yes, Prajan. So dana will facilitate sila and eventually the concentration and mindfulness. It's
Yes,
like a
because
platform.
when you're not greedy, then you can keep the precept easier. If you're greedy, then it's harder to keep the precept. Because sometimes you cannot get something morally right, then you might have to do it immorally, right? But if you're not greedy, then okay, no problem. If you cannot get it, that's fine. That's a matter. Then it'll give you more time to meditate. Then you don't have to go worry about making money to buy things that you want, because you want less things. You only want the basic things that will maintain your life. So you don't have to work as much. So you have more time for meditation, more time to practice. Then eventually you say, oh, I can become a monk now. I don't have to work. And then I can meditate full time, practice full time. Okay.
Yes, Prajan. Thank you so much for putting things into perspective for me.
You're welcome. Yi Kun Lim. Hi, Yi Kun. From Singapore.
Hi, Ajahn. Good evening. No questions today.
Okay. About Gate from Penang.
Ajahn, good evening. Just to some regards, some no question. Yeah.
Okay. Belinda from Singapore. Yes, what can I do for you? Cannot hear you.
See, I was unwell early this week. And,
Who's not well, you or your body?
yes, the body.
Or both?
The body, and then
And you also. So when the body is not well, you also not well also, right?
yeah, and the
Okay.
mind knows that the mind knows that okay, it is unwell, and I have to get up many times to go to the washroom, but then the mind gradually start to accept as is, and then mentally there's no suffering, and the recovery was fast without medication. Then I received a news about my sister's going for operation. And then that's when I empathize her anxiety. And also I was worried that she cannot wake up from her operation. So I did a lot of prayers for her. So I realized that we have not really accept our own death, anybody around us, especially I feel I'm very sensitive about you know, yeah, I'm working on that, like sickness and death.
You have to separate the body from the mind. And the mind doesn't get sick, get old, or die. It's just the body. That's all.
Like I'm working on myself. When I'm not well, I can working on it. I can accept the mind. The mind doesn't suffer, the body suffer. Yeah. But when I hear someone's body suffer and someone's sick and someone else is, wake up and then they just leave, I do my best to help. And then she did express she wants to go to Pure Land, and then I'll just recite like Amitabha Buddha, repeat the same cycle for her as well. Like to encourage where the person is comfortable to just recite a mantra. That I don't realize that when she woke up and I saw her face, I feel a relief. I feel that the prayers and the meditation works. But I do feel that it's still a long way that I have not really accept the passing of our loved ones, the sickness and all, even the body of others in Ajahn. So I think
you have to think more then. Just keep teaching yourself that the body is subjected to aging, sickness, and death. So you're not teaching your mind hard enough, long enough. So it doesn't impress the mind yet.
Yes. It was timely that on our Facebook, was a timely message that I saw. I read that you reminded us to contemplate death every day. Yeah, and then somebody told me that if you're unable to reconcile our own sickness and death, we will not be able to accept every passing of people around us. I feel it's quite true what that person says. So Ajahn, comment on that, Ajahn? Like, as long as I have not processed, I have not helped myself in my sickness and the death of myself, like anything that is coming from outside, it would be very difficult still.
Well, you just have to compare yourself and to everybody else that we are all the same, see. Our body are the same, are all subject to sickness and death. Not just our body alone. Everybody's body is the same. No different. Whether you're rich or poor, smart or foolish, the body is the same. The body is the same. It goes back to the four elements. It has to return to the four elements. It came from the four elements and it will go back to the four elements. The four elements were separate from the body. No self in the body. Nobody owns this body. It's just a temporary possession that we own for the duration of the body's life. Once it stops, then we have to throw it away and learn to live alone, learn to live without the body. If we can live alone without the body, then we don't have to go take up a new body when we lose this old body. But if we still don't know how to live alone, then we will still have to go get a new body after this old body die. Rebirth. The Buddha and the noble disciple, they know how to live alone. They know how to live without the body. So they don't need to get a new body when this old body dies. Okay, but look at everybody's body. We are all the same. Your body, my body are all the same. No self in this body. The user who uses this body isn't the body. The user is the mind. The mind is a spiritual being that doesn't die with the body. Okay, so your sister doesn't die when her body dies. And you don't die when your body dies. You live as a spiritual being. And whether you will get a new body or not, it depends on if you can live without the body or not. If you can live without the body and be happy without the body, then you don't need to have rebirth. You don't need to have a new body. But if you cannot live without a body, when you lose this body, you'll go look for a new body to replace this old body. So you will have rebirth. Okay. Anything else?
Sometime back, I have a friend, she passed away with cancer, and I saw when I visited her at hospital, and I told Ajahn about it. And then Ajahn told me that upon passing, we still have a chance to be enlightened. The Tibetans say the bado, like after passing, we still have consciousness. But if we practice or we are calm enough, we can recognize that we are dead, and we can direct the mind to where we want to go. Or we can be enlightened, or we can wake up, we don't need a body, or we can go to where we want to go. I feel I'm worried about my loved ones, where they go.
Well, it's the karma will decide where they will go. It's not you who will decide where they will go. It's their good or bad karma will be the one who decide where they will go. So don't worry about them. Where they go, you cannot stop.
Like for like in like what they are still alive, like how, like I do my best to encourage. Like if where she's feeling, then I would encourage to remind to recite mantra. Like just like Ajahn remind us. So I do
Well,
that.
they have to be willing to listen to you first. If they're not willing to listen to you, then you're wasting your time.
Yeah, she's doing that. She's doing that, Ajahn. She's doing that as to whether we can keep up, and then we keep trying. And I try my best to keep up also, because I'm weak at mantra too. And sometimes my mind also would drop out. So yeah, I'm trying my best to keep up too, so that hopefully that will help her to connect, like collectively. I'm not sure if that can be connected, Ajahn. Like if I think of that person and I keep to mindfulness, does it help that person's mind also, Ajahn?
No. Everybody has to do their own practice. If other people can help other people in their practice, and the Buddha can help us go to Nibbana. But the Buddha cannot help us to go to Nibbana. We have to do it ourselves. He can only teach us how to do it, that's all. But doing it, everybody has to do their own practice.
But does it help, Ajahn? Like if everyone is at the same goal, like if I'm feeling,
it doesn't. Everyone has the same goal. Then everybody has to go in the same direction. That's all. But it doesn't help the other one or the other.
But the karma that helps, isn't it, Ajahn? Our karma that helps.
Okay, we're talking nonsense now. Okay. All right.
Okay, Ajahn.
All right. Next, Nining from Indonesia. Are you still at the meditation in Hauchion?
Yeah, I am still in the Hauchion, Ajahn. Thank you for letting me stay here for 9 nights. And tomorrow I will meet Ajahn in dining sala for saying goodbye.
Okay, don't thank me. It doesn't belong to me. So, you might give the people the wrong impression that I own those places. I don't own them. It belongs to the forest department, Thai forest department.
But the permission
you should thank them when you leave. You should thank the people there. Thank you for letting me stay.
Oh, I see. Ajahn, I have a question. Is the duration of the peace or calm that we can keep in our meditation equal to peace or calm that we can hold when dealing with people? I mean, if we can be so calm and peace, for example, for 1 hour in our meditation, so does it mean that we can be also calm and peace after meditation?
You can find that out for yourself. You don't have to ask me.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I just want to know the correlation. Maybe there
Okay,
is.
then you observe it.
So,
When you come out of meditation, see how long you can maintain your cool.
oh,
It also depends on what you run into. If you run into something really bad, you might not be able to maintain your cool.
mm,
It depends on how strong your cool is also. So there are many different factors. So just observe yourself and see for yourself. I have practiced this so far. How much do I can remain cool when I'm not meditating?
yeah, I will. And also, Ajahn said that just now that we are only the user of the body. So when we do meditation and then we get pain, so by that statement that we are only the user of the body, so can we just ignore the pain?
Try it. You don't have to ask me. You can prove it for yourself.
Yeah, because I ignore, but I mean how I should behave. Do I have to accept or ignore? I'm a little bit confused of
If you can accept, then you don't have to ignore. But if you cannot yet accept, then you have to ignore and stick to your mantra instead. Pay attention to your mantra instead. But if you can accept, then you don't have to ignore. You have to ignore when you cannot yet accept the pain.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you, Ajahn. I know, I understand now.
Okay.
Okay,
You're
thank you.
welcome. Next, Piao and Indira from Toronto.
Sadhu
Have
Ajahn.
you been listening all this time or just coming in and out?
No,
No, we've been
we're
listening.
listening, yes.
From morning at Ajahn. Yes.
Yeah.
And learning so much.
Yeah, very
Especially,
interesting topics, wide range of topics. Very good.
Yes.
I always enjoy the topics about dana, generosity.
Dana. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dana is about letting go of your attachment to your possession.
Yes.
And also helping people and practicing karuna, metta karuna, compassion, and loving kindness. I think you're,
Atra Brahma Viharan.
yeah, Brahma Vihara.
Yes, Ajahn. And also something you said, I really could tune into that. Like you said, when you like practice generosity, you give away things. It's so much easier to give up your body too at the time of death.
That's right, because you have learned how that giving is good than clinging to it. See? So you more or less have some example of the benefit of giving and the
Yes,
and the pain from clinging. See? So it's better to give than to cling to things. When you cling to things, you become painful for you. But when you give things away, you feel happy.
Yes, always. Yes, Ajahn. And also, Ajahn, I have a question. This is more practical question. When somebody very old, like at a time of death, what's the best way? Like now, sometimes everybody crowds around them, but is it better to give them their own time and for them to let go?
It depends
maybe put some chant.
It depends on the individual. Some people want people around them. Some people want to be alone. So you have to find out what they want. See.
Yes. Okay, Ajahn. Yes. But is it difficult if there's lots of people? Can you cling and would that?
Well, for people who still cling to people, they feel comfortable when they have people around them. See.
Some amount of like disturbance in your mind?
Will as the first line. Please do not crowd around me in your last will.
It depends on yourself whether you want people around you or you want to be alone. See. Some people are happier being alone than being around with other people. Some people feel lonely when they're alone and they need to have people around them. So it varies from different person
Yes.
to person. But for
Individual
meditator, I
choice,
think
yes.
meditator usually likes to be alone rather than be having people
Alone,
around them. But if you're still a social
Yes.
being, if you're still a social being, then you want people around you at your deathbed to say
That's
goodbye to you.
Yeah, it could be a hindrance for the dying, right? Not for the others, right? So I mean, if you're training your mind, and suddenly all these people are crying and around you, and it's kind of disturbs. You can even focus your mind on what you want to do, because you have a bit of time, because the body is dying, the senses are dying, but the brain is still alive, and the mind is still have something to do. You have given time, so there's lots you can do within that few minutes or 7 or 8 minutes you have.
You can become enlightened if you look at the body, it's not yourself.
Yeah.
And let go of your attachment, then you can become a Sotapanna right away.
Yeah,
Yes.
Your connection is really not good. It comes on and off. But
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
sometimes
Yes.
connection didn't do well for some reason.
Thank you, Tanajan. Thank you so much, so much. We learned so much from you, and our practice has become so much better after we met you. So much gratitude to you. Teruan
okay,
Saranai.
you're welcome. Hope our connection might be better next time.
Yes.
Hope so too.
Life's connection. Sometimes this is how we go. Connection
This
get
anicca,
disconnected.
connection is anicca, anatta.
That's true, Tanajan.
Okay,
All right. Thank you.
you're welcome. Bye-bye. Next, Ricardo from Uruguay. How's the weather there? Are you still in the winter or in summer?
No, springtime right
Springtime.
now.
I see.
Yeah, lovely day.
Okay. Oh, really? You're in the southern
And
hemisphere, right?
right. And in the morning. So, thank you, Tana-chan, for giving us so much knowledge and wisdom. And I forgot last Tuesday to say happy birthday to you, the 2nd of November. So happy birthday late,
you.
but
Thank you. Happy every day. Happy every day, not just birthday alone. Be happy every day. Better than be happy birthday only. That only come once a year. It's a long time. It's better to
That's
give.
true.
It's better to give people. May you be happy every day, not just on your birthday.
True. I don't have questions today. I just have 2 comments I'd like to make. This weekend, my mother, who's 91 years old, came to stay by the weekend here, and I saw her deterioration of her mind. The synapses of her neurons doesn't work too well. So, as you said before, the body is coming slowly down, deteriorate, anicca. And the other comment I'd like to make is that we are really peace soldiers. We try to, at least I try to make myself or keep my inner peace alive every moment, because I don't know, the world are outside the samsara. Sometimes we tend to get involved and get dukkha or suffer from what's happening, but we have the chances by what you taught us to keep that peace inside. And the last comment I like to make is that the world, the universe, Dhamma, sometimes has new routes or new ways to show. I have a friend, Evangelina, who wants to become a bhikkhuni. We talked about it a week ago with another bhikkhuni in Spain, Samaneri Arindama, and she decided to become a bhikkhuni. So she has to fly from Uruguay to Spain, and she doesn't have money. And we try to help her some way so she can fly. And yesterday she told me that she was walking on a street and she happened to meet a friend, an old friend. And that old friend, she told her what she wants to become a bhikkhuni. And she said, oh, come to my house. And she gave her some money she had kept to her so she can fly. So sometimes the universe has that, I don't know, wonderful shows that when something has to happen, it does happen.
Yes, this is the way the world sometimes works. Sometimes it's satisfying, sometimes it's dissatisfying. So it's a nija. So, but
Right.
it's good to hear about good news from time to time also.
Yeah.
But we cannot expect only good news either. Sometimes we
Right,
also get
right.
bad news. So we just
True.
have to learn to accept both of them.
Right, right.
This is the way of the world. It contains sukha and dukkha. It contains happiness and sadness. Yeah.
Right.
We cannot choose only happiness.
Right, right.
All right.
Accept.
Accept.
Okay, thank you, Dhanachan.
Things go up and they come down. What goes up must come down.
Right, right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Deep
welcome.
gratitude.
You're welcome. Next, intern from Indonesia, but staying in Thailand right now.
Good evening, Ajahn.
What can I do for you?
Ajahn, I want to continue last day my question about sleepy. Today, since I wake up, I feel that my body is unwell. But I want to make sure this is real, my body is unwell, or this is from my kilesa. So I push myself to still go to Pindapata and also work. So until now, I know this is real, my body is unwell. So in our life, we must to always push ourselves to understand and to know this is our problem have a our body have a problem, or this is just our kilesa.
Yes, sometimes your mind can fool you. When you don't want to do something, then the mind say, "Oh, I'm sick,"
Yeah.
when actually you're not sick, but you just don't feel like doing anything. So you just put use the body as the excuse. Oh, the body is sick. So like sometimes for monks, sometimes monks say, "Oh, today I'm late. I feel sick. I don't want to go collect food," And Nota Mahabo say, if you feel sick of collecting food, you should also feel sick about eating food.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes you have to test who is really sick, the mind or the body.
Yeah.
If the body cannot go collect food, then the body should not be able to eat either. But if the body could not go on collecting food, but it can eat, then it's probably the defilement. That's the one who is sick.
Okay.
So normally you can tell the difference. If you have stomachache, there's no two ways about it. But it's about something that very unclear, then you might have to check it out.
Yes. Today, when I wake up, I feel that my body is very weak and very sleepy. So I tell my body still need go walk to Pinapata and also need to work. So I want to make sure this is the problem is from my body or from my mind.
Yes, sometimes you have to to find out yourself. No one can tell you
Yeah.
which is which. Okay,
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
you're welcome. Next, Gary from Singapore.
Interesting, Ajahn. No questions.
Okay,
This is
Sulan, also from Singapore. How are you, Sulan?
Better. I'm feeling better. Thank you, Ajahn.
You can accept the truth, accept reality.
I think not really. Haven't yet.
Not yet, huh? You still cling to your dream, your fantasy. Come down from your fantasy land, dreamland, and live in the real world.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I wasn't feeling that good. Then after that, and also over the weekend, like I wasn't able to attend like the physical Katina ceremonies. Then although I made some dana, but I didn't really feel any like joy from it. So it was like a digital transfer of money, of donation for the Katina. Then yesterday I saw a bhikkhuni in front of me, and then I gave her a toothpaste, which was a spontaneous thing. It made me feel very light. Yeah.
Good. Giving dana is a good feeling.
Yeah.
Especially you see somebody who can use what you give, then you feel more happy that what you give is useful for that person.
Then it kind of made my mind like kind of lighten it a lot more. Then it reminded me of what you said.
Okay. Try to let go of things. Things come and go. If they already gone, don't try to bring it back. Don't try to bring it back. If they want to come back, they'll come back by themselves. If they don't come back, then just let them go. Let bygone be bygone. Let the past be the past. We live in the present.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, live in the present. That's the reality.
Yeah, look at the reality on the ground. What's going on right now? That's the reality, and we have to learn to live with it, whether we like it or not.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I'll go to the next person. We're running out of time.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Teal Roger. Hi. Where are you from?
Ajahn, hi, I'm based in Hong Kong, Malaysian based in Hong Kong. Today I have no question to ask, just continue to practice and trying to go deeper into the meditation. Still trying, yeah. Is it like we have to be more relaxed so that we can like drop it down, further down and further down?
No, you have to practice more mindfulness before you meditate. You practice, keep stopping your mind from thinking as much as possible during the day, during your waking hours.
Okay.
Then when you meditate, you'll find it easier to go in deeper.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Right.
Sadhu, sadhu.
You're welcome. Next question from Gmail or Facebook.
Namaskar, Ajahn. We have 4 questions. The first 3 questions are from Facebook. The first question is from Mini Pool. Dear Ajahn Suchart, Buddha says that sankhara is the condition of consciousness. If citta is permanent, how can it be conditioned? Thank you.
I'm not sure what the translation this refers to. Consciousness, which word it comes from. See, in the mind we have consciousness called vijnana, and vijnana is just one of the function of the mind, and this function they constantly changing. Like this, the vijnana connects to the sensual organs of the body, and it receives the information that comes into the sensual organs, like the sensual objects, such as what you see, images, what you hear, the sound. This are constantly moving, changing. This is anicca. So this is what it means by the consciousness is being constantly anicca, changing. But it doesn't mean that the mind itself changed at all. The mind is still the mind. It is the one who knows. So you have to separate the two things apart. The mind and the consciousness are two separate things.
The next question, does an arahant see a true self? But because they respect the Buddha, they say no self. Thank you.
You have to go ask them. I don't know.
The next question is from Stacy Palaco. What is the visitation policy? Is there a limited time to visit?
Where? Who?
I think they're referring to visiting you. What is the visitation policy? Or is there a limited time to visit?
Well, I have certain time that people can visit me. During weekdays, I usually am at the dining hall, and they can meet me around 9 o'clock in the morning. And on weekend, I give Dhamma talk in front of my kuti or my house, and people can come and listen at 2 or talk to me after 3 o'clock during the weekend or on Buddhist Observance Day.
And the last question is from YouTube. How can I be less self-serious?
Do something more for other people. Do more charity work. Then you become more selfless.
That is all, Ka.
Okay. That's about all the time we have for today. Thank you for your wonderful company. I hope you enjoy the time together here and benefit from what we learn, what we hear, and apply it to your practice to help you advance on the path to enlightenment. In the meantime, please stay safe, be mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Edwin.
you.
Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Sadhu,
Bye, everyone. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.